Picture this. It's early morning, your alarm has just gone off, and instead of springing out of bed with energy, you feel like gravity has doubled. Your body feels heavy, your mind is foggy, and your first thought is, I need coffee. You drag yourself to the kitchen, pour that first cup, and hope the caffeine will flip a switch. But you know how it goes. Sometimes it takes 2 or 3 cups before you even feel human again, and even then, the crash comes later. It's a cycle millions of people live in every single day. Sluggish mornings, endless caffeine, energy spikes followed by energy dips. And the truth is, coffee isn't solving the problem. It's just patching over it. If you've ever felt like you can't truly wake up no matter how much caffeine you drink, then what I'm about to share is for you. Because there is one tiny shift, one ridiculously simple action you can take that flips your nervous system into awake mode faster than any latte ever could. I want you to imagine this. You walk to the sink or step into the shower. The water is cold, sharply cold. 15 seconds, no more. It hits your face or your body and instantly everything changes. Your breathing deepens. Your heart rate quickens just slightly. Your blood vessels contract. Your brain sends a surge of signals through your entire body. Wake up. Be alert. That's the cold water rule. 15 seconds, not 15 minutes. No equipment, no supplements, no waiting for caffeine to trickle through your bloodstream. Just cold water and your own biology doing what it was designed to do. And here's the fascinating part. It's not just about shock or discomfort. It's about how cold water interacts with your nervous system on the deepest level. When you expose your skin to cold, your body activates something called the sympathetic nervous system, the same system responsible for energy, focus, and readiness. It's like a built-in switch you can flip at will. That's why this method works every single time, and why it's been quietly used by high performers, athletes, and even ancient cultures for centuries. But most of us ignore it because it seems too simple, too uncomfortable, too obvious. And yet, it's exactly that simplicity that makes it powerful. To really understand why this works, let's build a mental model together, a framework I call the cold water triangle. It has 3 sides, and each one explains why those 15 seconds can change your entire morning. The first side is activation. When cold water hits your skin, your body interprets it as a stressor. But unlike the kind of stress that drains you, emails, deadlines, arguments, this is a short, controlled stress, a healthy jolt. Your nervous system responds by releasing norepinephrine, a chemical messenger that heightens alertness, sharpens attention, and increases energy. This is your body's way of saying, pay attention, something important is happening. And here's the key. It doesn't fade as quickly as caffeine. You get sustained focus without the roller coaster. The second side of the triangle is reset. Have you ever noticed how mornings often feel like mental clutter? You wake up with leftover emotions, dreams, worries from yesterday, and your brain feels scrambled. Cold exposure acts like a reset button. It forces your breathing to deepen, pulls you out of your head and into your body, and in that process, it clears mental fog. You come out of those 15 seconds feeling as if the slate has been wiped clean. It's not just about being awake, it's about being present. The day feels fresh again. You start with clarity instead of confusion. And when you think about it, that's the single most valuable state to be in when you want to make decisions, focus on work, or even just feel like yourself. The third side of the triangle is resilience. Because here's the truth. When you deliberately step into discomfort, even for a few seconds, you're training your brain in something far more important than energy. You're training it to handle stress. Each time you choose that cold water, you're proving to yourself, I can do something uncomfortable, and I'm fine. That message carries over into every other part of your life. Suddenly, that difficult conversation doesn't feel as intimidating. That workout you were putting off feels doable. That project you were afraid to start feels less overwhelming. Why? Because your nervous system has practiced going from stress to strength. And the best part is, you don't need years of meditation or elaborate rituals. You get this training automatically, built into those 15 seconds. It's resilience on autopilot. So think about this cold water triangle. Activation, reset, resilience. 3 sides, 1 action. You don't need to remember complex steps, just this triangle. And every time you step into the shower or splash that icy water on your face, you know exactly what you're building. Energy, clarity, and strength. Now let me ask you a question. What do you normally do when you wake up tired? Most people scroll on their phone, sip coffee, maybe hit snooze. But notice something. All of those actions are passive. They don't flip the switch. They keep you stuck in the fog. Cold water is different. It's active. It demands a choice. And that choice, repeated day after day, begins to change not just your mornings, but your identity. You stop being someone who drags themselves into the day, and you become someone who actively takes control. That's not just about energy. It's about self-respect. And I know what you might be thinking right now. Cold showers? That sounds terrible. And you're right. At first, it is uncomfortable. But here's the secret. It doesn't stay that way. Your body adapts faster than you think. The first time it feels shocking. The second time it still feels sharp, but you recover quicker. By the fifth time, you almost look forward to it, because you know what comes after. The discomfort becomes a doorway you willingly walk through because you've linked it with power. And this isn't just anecdotal. Research shows that people who practice cold exposure experience measurable improvements in mood, energy, and even immune function. Your body becomes more efficient at regulating itself, which means less fatigue, fewer dips, more steady performance. It's biology working in your favor. Now here's something else to keep in mind. You don't need to overhaul your entire routine. You don't need to be an athlete, a biohacker, or a monk. You just need to give yourself 15 seconds. That's it. And the beauty of it is, it's accessible to everyone. No matter where you live, no matter what resources you have, there's always a sink, a shower, or even just a handful of cold water. This isn't about money, status, or equipment. It's about choice. Your choice today, tomorrow, every morning. And the return on that choice is extraordinary. Think of it like compound interest. One small deposit every day that accumulates into an unstoppable reserve of energy and resilience. You don't see it all at once, but after weeks, months, you realize you're no longer the same person who struggled to get out of bed. You're sharper, calmer, more alive. But let's go even deeper. Why does this matter beyond just feeling awake? Because how you start your morning sets the tone for your entire day. If you begin reactive, sluggish, dependent on caffeine, you carry that passivity forward. If you begin proactive, alert, with a small victory over discomfort, you carry that momentum into everything else. Mornings aren't just hours, they're anchors. And cold water is one of the most powerful anchors you can build. It teaches your brain, I act first, then I feel better. Not the other way around. And that flips one of the most damaging beliefs people carry, which is, I'll wait until I feel ready. No. With cold water, you act before you feel ready, and that's why it works. You stop waiting. You start living. Here's what I want you to imagine. Tomorrow morning, your alarm goes off. Instead of dragging yourself into autopilot, you walk straight to the bathroom. You turn the handle, the water runs cold, and your mind protests. Don't do it, it's too much. But this time, you don't negotiate. You step in. 1 second, 3 seconds, 10 seconds, 15 seconds. And when you step out, you notice it. Your breathing is clear, your head is sharp, your body feels alive. That's the first win of the day, and it's entirely yours. No one gave it to you. No one can take it away. You created it with a single choice. And that choice is always available. That's the rule of cold water. Simple, universal, unstoppable. And the question is, are you willing to try it? Here's something powerful to consider. The hardest part isn't the 15 seconds of cold water. It's the 3 seconds before you turn the handle. That's where the hesitation lives. That's where your brain whispers excuses. It's too much. You don't need this today. Just grab coffee instead. And yet, if you override that moment of resistance, you unlock a truth that goes far beyond waking up. You discover that energy isn't something you wait for. It's something you create. And when you grasp that, the game changes. You stop being a passenger in your mornings, pulled along by fatigue and habits, and you start being the driver. You wake up knowing that you can flip your own switch anytime you want. That's freedom. That's power. And it starts with something as small as cold water. Now let's dig deeper into why this works so universally. Cold water acts as a direct dialogue with your physiology. Normally, when you feel tired or groggy, you blame your mind. I didn't sleep well. I can't focus. I don't have motivation. But those thoughts are just downstream of your body's signals. What cold water does is cut to the root. It overrides sluggish signals with a burst of activation from your nervous system. It's like rebooting your computer instead of closing one tab at a time. That's why it feels so different from coffee. Coffee stimulates, but it doesn't reset. Cold water resets, and that's why the clarity feels so clean, so complete. It's not an addition, it's a recalibration. And when you experience that even once, it's unforgettable. You realize you've been carrying around a tool this whole time and never using it. a natural built-in button for alertness. And here's another fascinating layer. When you begin practicing this, you're not just training your mornings, you're rewiring your relationship with discomfort. In modern life, we avoid discomfort at all costs. We chase warmth, convenience, safety. But in that process, we lose resilience. We become fragile. 15 seconds of cold water is like a daily reminder that you're tougher than you think, that your body can handle more than your mind gives it credit for. And the irony is, once you prove that to yourself, the rest of the day feels easier. The meeting that once gave you anxiety doesn't shake you as much. The workout you postponed doesn't seem as heavy. The challenging conversation feels within reach. Because every morning you've already done something uncomfortable and survived. In fact, you didn't just survive, you thrived. That builds a quiet confidence that no motivational speech can replicate. It's earned, it's embodied. But maybe you're asking yourself, do I have to take a full cold shower every morning? That sounds brutal. And the answer is no. You can scale this to your comfort. Start by splashing your face with cold water for 15 seconds. Then try running just your hands or arms under the tap. As you build tolerance, you can progress to a short burst in the shower. The principle is the same. It's not about suffering, it's about activating. And the moment your body feels that rush, even in a small dose, you'll know it's working. What matters most is consistency. Doing it once makes you feel alive. Doing it daily makes you unstoppable. That's where the compound effect kicks in. Your mornings stop being random. They become reliable. Energy stops being something you hope for. It becomes something you guarantee. And with that foundation, your productivity, focus, and even your mood rise automatically. You're not chasing energy anymore. You own it. Think about how different your life looks if you start every day this way. Instead of grogginess, you start with clarity. Instead of waiting for caffeine, you start with control. Instead of fearing stress, you start by mastering it. Over time, those aren't just better mornings, they're a better identity. You stop telling yourself, I'm not a morning person. You stop saying, I can't focus without coffee. You stop believing, I'm not disciplined enough. Because the proof is right there every single morning in your own actions. You become the kind of person who acts first and feels the reward after. And that shift is priceless. That shift is what separates those who drift through life from those who direct it. And the amazing part? It's accessible to you tomorrow morning with nothing more than the turn of a handle. So let's bring it all together. The cold water rule is not just about energy. It's about 3 interconnected gifts. Activation, flipping your nervous system into alert mode on demand. Reset, clearing the mental fog and starting fresh. Resilience, training your brain to embrace discomfort and grow stronger from it. That's the cold water triangle. 3 sides, 1 action, 15 seconds. And if you remember nothing else, remember this. Energy isn't something you lack, it's something you unlock. And the key has been in your bathroom all along. All that's left is the choice to use it. Tomorrow morning, when you wake up and feel that familiar heaviness, pause. Don't reach for the coffee first. Don't scroll your phone. Walk to the sink or the shower. Turn on the cold water. Let it hit your skin for 15 seconds. Count them if you need to. Breathe deeply. And when you step away, notice what's changed. Your breath, your clarity, your state. That's your first win of the day. And from there, the wins stack naturally. It's the smallest act with the biggest ripple. And the more you repeat it, the more you'll realize it's not about cold water anymore. It's about who you are becoming. Someone who doesn't wait for energy but creates it. Someone who doesn't avoid discomfort but harnesses it. Someone who doesn't drift through mornings but claims them. That's what the cold water rule gives you. So here's your challenge. Try it tomorrow. Just 15 seconds. And pay attention to what happens, not only in your body, but in your mind. Because once you experience that shift, once you realize how much power you've had all along, you'll never see mornings the same way again. 3 seconds of hesitation, 15 seconds of cold water, and a whole day transformed. The question is, will you take that first step?